Yes,
So we're live
and we're
now,
live. Yes, now we're live. I'm gonna just check Facebook, see if everything is okay. Go to the page and post. And yes, we're live.
Okay,
We are
that's
live.
good.
All right. So, first, I would like to welcome everyone to this live show, and I've been waiting for this show especially because of Adolf. If you don't know Adolf, we all know him. He's also my sponsor, my sponsor of my channel. So whenever I want to use a coil, I don't use else Adolf coils. Um, First, I would like you to tell us more about yourself. One thing we're not used to, which is your name. I don't know anyone in Lebanon under the name of Adolf. What the heck, man? What is it? Is your mother
Uh,
German or your father?
no, pure Lebanese, man. I don't know, yani.
Both of them.
It was either Adolf or Vincent, so I'm quite happy with Adolf.
Yeah, that one's gonna be worse, man. Vincent?
Yeah. So
Ooh!
yeah, that wouldn't have worked out at all.
Yep, I don't think so. Let me
Yeah.
just do one thing to just because they asked me to notify them. We're live. So this is our third show. We wanted you in the first show, but we had some difficulties. We couldn't make it.
Yeah, I wasn't in the city, so it was a bit tough getting a proper connection.
Yes, but it turned out better. Now I have you for a whole hour.
True.
And I didn't know first live. I didn't know it will take that much. We took almost an hour with Paul talking about juice.
Yeah, it would definitely take some time.
I didn't. I wanted to get two guests in each show, but obviously it wouldn't have worked at all.
Yeah, it'd be tougher. It'll need longer.
Yes. Let me just notify the guys. They told me, live guys, come on. All right. So,
Yeah.
Adolf, what I know about you, you were not living in Lebanon before, right? You were in Saudi
No,
or UAE?
I was actually in Dubai most of the
All
time.
right. Mm-hmm.
That's where I started this. When I moved to
What
Saudi
had
for
you
a few
started
months.
this? Why did you just? What did you start with this?
Well, when I first started vaping, I started with an ego pen.
Yeah, everyone has
Uh,
it. I have two of
yeah.
them.
After 2 weeks, I wasn't cutting it, so I moved up to a smoke RPM 80 with their older mods,
Yes.
Pro 80 or Pro Plus 80, something like that. I got a smoke tank with it, and I was using that for around a month or two.
Sub-ohm
Uh,
tank, right?
a sub-ohm tank, yeah.
Yeah.
After spending a bit of money on coils and getting coils that don't work out of the box, and you know all those issues that everyone has with sub-ohm tank coils back in the day. I think they're a bit better right now. I haven't used any sub-ohm tanks for the
Yes.
past 3 4 years.
They're way better
Uh,
now.
yeah, so right, like after my experience with the sub-ohm tank, I moved to RDAs, and I directly got some
Yes.
26 gauge Cantal, and I just did the simple round wire coil, and started vaping. So after some time, that didn't cut it for me, and
Also,
yeah. So it was there wasn't enough flavor, enough vapor. The hit wasn't like ما عم تعبي لي راسي basically. So
Yes.
I started watching some YouTube videos on how to build, and actually the first guy I started watching was Squidoo. Uh, he's like one of the pioneers in building.
Ah,
So
okay.
I started watching his videos. After some time, I was like, "Khalas, fuck it, I'm gonna get me some coils, get me some wire stocks, and try building." So I bought some wire spools from Lightning Vapes,
Mm.
which
That
was the
building for
cheapest.
your own, not to sell, just for your
Yeah,
own
yeah,
thing.
for myself basically. I started
Yeah.
doing wires for myself.
Mm.
I wanted something that would hit harder and deliver, more vapor, have that lung fill feeling. So I ordered some wires from Lightning, and once the wires came in, I attached my drill, and I started with trying to make fused Claptons freehand without a swivel.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay.
After some practice, the fused Claptons started working out. I was happy with them, vaped on those for a while. Then again, it was enough. I wanted something more, a warmer vape. So I started watching tutorials on how to do framed staples, alien coils, all the different types of coils. Had to order some more wire, different gauges, uh, and I started practicing. I was basically practicing for around 8 months until I was able to land an alien coil. The other coils were
Okay.
like 2 3 days, and it was fine. I was able to do them. But the aliens took some time. And once I nailed the aliens, I was happy with that, and I was yeah, the Corona haircut.
To all of us. You see this?
So I was happy. ايه لا مان قصيتهم خلص مان وقع نصهم برو. راحوا الشعرين. So once I was fine with building them, I started building some coils, giving them to friends. They were using them, they were happy with them, and for around a year, that was the way it was. Just giving coils to my friends, building coils for myself and for them. And
There was nothing
actually,
called AK-82 yet.
no, there was nothing like that. So actually, Bilal right here was the one who pushed me to start. He was one of the guys who
Uh-huh.
actually started
See,
pushing me.
everyone has someone who push him. For me, it's George. For you, it's Bilal.
Yeah. So I came up with the brand and started uh, finding ways to get the jars. Found bet. I started off, with Lightning Vapes, which was a very. It's an okay brand, but it's not the top of the line wire manufacturers. They're a good, decent brand. So after that, I moved to what's it called? Coil Society,
Yes.
and I've been using Coil Society for the past 4 years, basically. Recently, I started using some kidney puncher wire. Not some. I switched to kidney puncher due to what the market wants. Everyone asks for kidney puncher. Kidney puncher and Coil Society are very similar and very close, so there wasn't much of a difference over there. And it kind of went on from there. I started making some small quantities, selling them through Instagram, through WhatsApp groups. We had the same, the community that we have over here in Lebanon. We have a community in
Same thing
Dubai.
was in UAE.
Yeah, so we had vape meets, we had vape gatherings. I used to go there, take my coils with me, sell them off during the vape meets, and I kept on doing it as a side thing because I had a job back then, and didn't have enough time to push and really try to get into some shops. And there weren't any shops back in those days anyway in Dubai. It was still
Yeah, I remember everyone was smuggling anything regarding vape to UAE. It was
exactly.
smuggled.
It was still black market.
Yes,
Uh, I think the whole Gulf just legalized around a year ago.
exactly.
Yeah, so it was tough, and it still is tough, because there's a lot of builders right now in the Arab world, and there are a lot of good builders also in the Arab world.
You're the only one we have in Beirut, or do you have any competitors?
In Lebanon, I don't know of any other guys, honestly. And I haven't met
Hmm.
anyone or anyone has approached me unless there is someone who's building coils, and I don't know. But I haven't met anyone who knows how to who
I
builds
never
coils.
heard anybody doing this LCU. Where's the hair go? Where did the hair go? The long hair, the one that I used it in the picture, man. What happened?
I had to shave it off, man. It was falling out.
We were expecting someone, and we saw someone different. Are you Adolf?
Yeah, I had to shave it off. It was
Are you
falling
sure?
out like crazy. Already have a nice bald spot in the back. So enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I had the same. I had a long hair before, and this is what happened to me. You see
Yeah.
this?
I guess it happens with age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 years old, no more
خلاص.
hair. No more hair. All right. Let's move to our main subjects. Everyone is asking. See, let me be honest with you. I'm not a I don't know anything about codes. I just use whatever you advise me or whatever comes with the product. But I don't have
Yeah.
like a specific codes that I love to use every time. So we
Mm.
need to know from you which is better, why to choose this over this. Like for
Uh,
MTL, you know the issue that I'm facing with MTL. I'm using some. I don't know. I showed you the codes. You were laughing. So give
well,
us some more really technical info.
to be honest, Jay, there isn't the coil to use. You know what I mean? هلا in MTLs, it's a bit limited due to size and ohms and all of that. So
Yes.
I'm trying to experiment with making some framed staples for MTLs right now. My main seller, for example, in MTL is the fused Clapton. It gives really good flavor and vapor production from it, and it
How
actually
about
suits
the
the
ohms?
purpose. The
How about the
ohms in
ohms?
MTL is
Like for me, let me tell you one thing. The coil
mm,
that I got when I got this, uh, the Berserker by Vendi Vape, it
yeah.
came with this coil. Hold on a second. Where is it? Here somewhere. Yeah. Came with the Vendi Vape Superfine MTL Fuse Clapton,
Mm.
which ironically, when I use it, I get no flavor at all. Nothing. Zero. Although it's made for MTL.
The issue
Okay.
is,
But the
like
coil
Vandy
that
Vape
you
is
gave
a
me,
big company,
yeah.
but I don't know where they're sourcing the wire from.
Mm.
It might be somewhere in China, and you know the quality control, and who really knows if they're actually using nichrome for the cores. The outside they'll probably use nichrome, but then the cores and
Mm.
the purity of the metal, it might be full nichrome, but the purity of the metal that is melted together, because nichrome is basically uh, 80% Nikon, I don't know how to pronounce it, Nicontral, and 20% chrome. So if there's any play with those percentages, then you have a different output.
This is
Uh,
an Ni80, Nichrome 80, I think,
Ni80,
right?
nichrome. It's nichrome,
Yes.
Nicontral 80. It's a mix.
Yeah.
It's a two alloy metal. It's not a pure
But why
single
I'm not
metal.
getting any flavor? Why I'm not getting any flavor?
The gauges, the gauges always play a part with
It's
flavor
30 gauge
production.
by 2 plus 38 gauge.
How many wraps are you wrapping it at, and what ohms are you getting?
Well, it should give 3.5 ohm per feet. Let me show you here. I don't know if you can read this.
And your coil that you're like when you're wrapping a coil out of that, how many wraps are
Four, 4 to 5
4 to 5?
on a 2.5,
And
2.5
what's the ohms coming
diameter.
up?
0.7, 0.6, 0.7. No flavor. But the
0.6.
coils that you sent me, it gives me like 1.3, and I'm getting excellent flavor. 1.3 ohm.
Those are the
Also, if you know, we had the
that I do. But those coils are done for Saltnik actually, because with Saltnik, if you go below 0.1 ohm, it's a disaster. And they hit. Some people can do it, but most of the people can't do it. So those are those are like I make those for Saltnik users. 1.3, you unwind the wrap, it'll give you around 1.2. It's good for Saltnik.
So for this, if I did like 4 or 5 wraps on a 2.5 and I use Saltnik, it will give me a good flavor.
With that?
With this, yes.
You need to go over 1 ohm, man. Because
it doesn't read. If I want to go over, if I want to get over 1 ohm, I need like 7 or 8 wraps.
Yeah, it's too much. لأنه it's 30 gauge. The one I do is 32 gauge.
All right, so we really want to know what's the, because I have no idea about coils, man. It's stupid. Seriously. I thought I had a good, I'm not going to show anyone here. I thought I had a good coil for an RDA, and you told me that's rubbish. Don't use it. And I'm not using it. All I'm using is yours, the one that you sent me.
The issue is with although the Chinese companies and their coils, you get those that wheel thing with 20 different coils inside and 100 coils total. You need to think, what are they actually using to make the coils? What's the metal? How clean is the metal? How pure is the metal? I bet you anything, if you get one of those coils and you wipe it down with an alcohol, like a swab with alcohol on it, you will get black residue.
Whoa, why? It's dirty?
Wire is dirty, man. It's extruded through machines. There is oil, and they extrude the wire through machines to make the different gauges. It's pushed through, a sizing machine. So I don't know if they actually clean the wire in China before they send it.
Or they wrap it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Shafi, Kifa.
Right.
Before they wrap it.
What do you advise us?
Sorry?
If we wanna choose the best coil to use for an RDA, for example, what I know is that there is some coils that will give you better flavor but less vapor, and there are some coils that will give you less vapor, less flavor, but a lot of vapor production. What's the difference between both?
That's kind of true in a way, but ever since I was selling coils to more and more people, you find out that it's not about, there is no one perfect coil. It all depends on the taste of the person. For example, a lot like I have one coil that I do now. It's called the Screamers. This coil.
I was going to talk about this.
Sorry?
It's very famous now. I was going to ask you about it because it's very famous. Whenever I talk to anyone, he say, I have the Screamers from Adolf. What's the story with this?
This is a
Even
coil.
This.
It's a coil that does a lot of noise, like popping noises, and I don't have one installed right now. It does a lot of popping and crackling noises, which actually releases more flavor. You get more flavor because you're actually sort of getting spit back in your mouth.
Yes.
That's why you get more flavor. Yeah.
You're tasting it.
Yeah. the juice more, so that noise and flavor. This coil, I actually had a lot of problems trying to do it, and there's a Saudi builder that I know through Instagram, who two of them actually, who actually helped me out in the way to do it, because there's different ways to do the coils. So they gave me the pointers on how to get it done. The guy, like one of the guys are called, there's a guy called Demon Coil, and there's High Boost Coils. I'd like to give them a shout out because they helped me out with how to actually process, how to make this coil. Whenever you're wrapping, so the screamers are basically two core aliens. So I have to wrap the fuse wire on a core and decore it and then use it to make the screamer. It's the same process for a 3-core alien. It's just the decore that you use is basically a smaller gauge than the cores that you're using. Unlike a 3-core alien, so let's say I'm doing a 3-core alien, the 0.15, which is 3 times 28 gauge. I wrap my decore on a 28 gauge and I remove that to make the alien. For me, for example, I prefer 3-core aliens. A lot of people like the screamers now.
Coil. That's the coil that you prefer.
Yeah, but that's what I prefer. I like the standard 3-core aliens. A lot of people like the screamers. There are some guys who actually prefer plain fused Claptons. They don't like any other coil. They've tried aliens. It's like George, for example. George, whenever he orders coils from me, it's just fused Claptons. He doesn't want anything else. He's tried the aliens. He's tried this. He likes the screamers. He hates the sound, for example. Yeah. He doesn't know how to get rid of the sound.
Firecrackers.
Yeah. So it's more of a taste thing. There are coils that give you more flavor, which is obvious, so like the screamers, they produce more flavor due to the crackling and juice spit back. And there are coils that give you more vapor. Coils which produce a lot of heat will tend to give you more vapor, but it would kill the flavor in return. For example, framed staples. I produce a set of frame staples that's a 0.1, 0.11, 0.1. They do have flavor production, but the flavor that you get out of them is much lower than what you would get out of a 3-core alien, for example, or a 2-core.
But it's not muted.
No, it's not muted, but it's, if you put it on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say, framed staples will give you around a 4. 3-core aliens would give you around a 7 to 8. The screamers would give you 8.5 to 9, if you want to scale it in a way.
Okay. What are you vaping on?
Paul's juice.
Paul juice. See, this is what I like. This is what I like. Really, the whole issue with this show is to support our fellow Lebanese vape creators like Paul, like yourself. Like if I don't know if you saw the last review that I did. It was for the reserved juice by Reserved Vape. They are Lebanese.
Yeah, I know the guys.
Lebanese in Texas. Yeah, so
I know
it's all about
them,
supporting.
brothers, actually. Yeah.
Who? Wissam, Wasim. There's one of them
Paul,
here in Peru.
he's a guy who makes juice.
What?
No, I'm answering Muhammad. Paul is a juice mixer here in Lebanon, Muhammad. And he does it as a hobby.
He didn't see our first. He didn't see our first show, probably.
Shafi also mentioned Penta vapes.
Who are Penta vapes? I don't know them. They are made in Lebanon.
Pause. Yeah, suppose no, they're from Lebanon.
Haifa. It's made in Lebanon. I never tried it before.
Hey, try to get in touch with them, man. Come in. Maybe you can hook up a show with them.
Yes, for sure. I am. I'm telling you, this show is all about supporting our Lebanese vaping community. We have a lot. We have also, where is it? Let me show you. You know this, the drops.
Hey, you told me
This is
about these
also,
guys.
yeah, this is also for a guy. I think
So
his
fatty.
name is Wissam. I don't know. I talked to him on the chat. I was chatting with him last time. He's also in USA, and you know the guys for our reserved vape. There is like a competition between them because both of them do the shisha vape, double apple. You know, there's like
the
a good
shisha flavor.
competition, to be honest. Yeah, when I talked to him, he said, "I know the guys. They're good guys. They have their own customers, and I have my own customers." So it was really respectable. Yeah. So
So
I I wanted to know more about MTL because this is my kind of vaping. This is my style of vaping. And now, because I don't have your coils. Your coils are out of stock. I don't have them. I'm using this. Do you know
but
this?
yours are waiting to get delivered, man.
I'm using mesh. What's the deal with the mesh coils? I need you to explain that
To be honest,
because
I
I'm
tried it
getting great
once.
flavor.
I tried it once. I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask about mesh coils. I didn't really like it for several reasons. Number one, the amount of cotton you have to put in them
Too much.
is insane, and the amount of juice that you have to actually. Shafi has some coils. Is that
No, I have. Shafi has MTL coils.
شافي عنده stock
You should
man.
name them, and you should name them after me. You should name them J coils. Seriously. I
The
mean,
mesh
Paul will
coils, I
create
never.
some juice. Paul will create some juice, and he will call them the G spot after Joe. George, because George like those juices, and I should get my own coils from you, J coils, especially for MTL.
So with MTL, man, because there's different types of MTL vapors. You have the salt neck, you have the high neck, and you need different coils for those. Reason being the amount of heat that you need to push through the coil and the wattage. So if you're vaping something like a 12 mg, you could use anything from a 0.4 to a 0.8, for example. If you're going into salt neck, then using anything below one ohm is it's not doable. There are people who do it, but not everyone can handle the hit from a below 1 ohm
Very hard.
coil. It's very harsh, yeah. And I personally don't vape salt nicks. I tried it for a while. I started getting headaches, stomach aches. Didn't feel
It
well.
depends.
So
Let me tell you about Saltnik, because I've tried a lot. Okay, but not because they are the sponsors of my channel. I don't have any of them now. My favorite juice is the lemon tart
okay.
by Dinner Lady. All right, this is
For
my number
example,
one juice.
I find their freebase neck harsh.
No, it's good. That's 3 milligram. I tried the 6 milligram. It was harsh. That's as a free base. But
Yeah.
they introduced Saltnik lemon tart. So I got the 30 milligram, and I can vape it normally. Nothing. I don't feel the nicotine. I don't feel any hit. Nothing. Zero. I swear. I was talking last time with The previous show was with John Moriarty, who used to be the sales manager of
Yeah, yeah.
Dinner Lady. And I told him about it. I told him in 30 milligrams nicotine, I don't feel any nicotine. But when I go to 50, I can't handle it. It's too much.
Hmm.
But I'm not going to mention the brands, but I tried other 30 and 25 milligram nicotine. I started getting headaches. Like, I'm going to mention one of them, which is the Cubano by Vigad.
Yeah.
25 or 30 milligram, I couldn't handle it. Nothing at all. Zero. I
For
couldn't handle it
example,
at all.
Fadi, for example, uses there's some aliens that I do for MTL. They actually ohm out at
Yeah.
0.8 at 6 wraps. That's how I sell them. Fadi takes those and unwinds the wrap and uses them at 0.6. And Fadi, he does MTL with most of his
Yeah.
setups, and he likes the 0.6 ohm for his. But I think Fadi vapes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fadi. And like freebase, bus. You don't vape salt.
I
So
stopped salting. I'm not using Saltnik anymore.
I don't
I'm
encourage salt
using.
at all.
Why?
It's,
Why everyone is not encouraging Saltnik? I
man,
mean,
it's very addictive. It's extremely
yeah,
addictive.
because it has a lot of nicotine.
Yeah, and the down from it is horrible. So, Anna, personally, I don't like it and I don't recommend it. I'd recommend it for a heavy smoker to start, and even 25 or 23 milligram salt, not the 50 milligram, because the 50 milligram
Yeah.
salt is insane.
Yeah, I tried. I'm telling you, the 30 milligram of Dinner Lady Lemon Tart was okay. The 50 was not acceptable.
Hmm.
It was
Yeah, you
very
see
harsh.
a lot
Now
of like
I have
almost
a new
everyone
mix.
on the channel right now is probably anti-Saltnik.
Yeah. Now I have a new mix. I mixed this from Reserve, this the Tango Mango with the S pod,
Oh yeah.
and it's 25 milligram nicotine. I don't know if you can see it. 25 milligram nicotine, and it's you can't feel the nicotine. So this is a good thing also.
Yeah, they're probably
And you,
using some mild form of Saltnik, but
yeah,
still it
I
would
mean
be
some companies give you a lot of nicotine. You
yeah.
cannot. A V-God was not acceptable at all. This one and the Dinner Lady was good.
Hmm,
Also on high nicotine, you need like you vape it 4 to 5 times and you're done. You already got your nicotine intake. You don't need it anymore.
exactly.
Hmm.
So with coils, man, there isn't really the perfect coil for anyone. Everyone needs to try out and check what do they prefer. And for example,
Yes,
Shafi actually bought the full range so he can try every single coil so he would know what he would like.
that's a good customer.
Yeah. Well, you guys know me, and in the end, almost everyone becomes a friend. So
Exactly. The same thing Paul said it. It's not customers anymore. It's a friend.
yeah, you become friends in the end. It's not only about being a brand and just selling stuff. I think it's more about the industry, how the vape industry is, because it's completely different than any other industry. It
Do us a
backfired.
favor. Do us a favor and show us your workstation.
Ah, 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
This is gonna look a bit weird. Okay, so
Oh my God.
basically, this is just the wire that I have, which I'm currently using. There's more wire down there. So everything's here. This is a mini lathe. I don't use a drill anymore because the drill's too noisy and it's actually slow. This goes up to 15,000 RPM. So this is much faster than a drill.
Yeah,
And
much
yeah,
much faster.
I have all my stuff here, so I don't have to go anywhere when I'm working. And basically on the
This
other
is where the
side,
magic happens.
on the other side, I use this to attach the wire to it. It spins. It's called a swivel. So this is actually made by a guy in Germany. His
Yes.
company is called Just Vapor.
What is this?
It's three. This is the swivel that I use on the other end to hold the wire. There are a lot of companies that do these things. This is just one of the companies that I liked and I trusted. So I have two of them. You know, one's never
you're
enough.
ready. You're working from home.
Yeah, I'm working from home now. As
All
like
right. We need to know one thing.
yeah,
We need to know some prices because one of the issues that's happening now, I already discussed that with Paul, that
yeah,
due to the rate of the US dollars now is getting triple than it used to be.
mm,
If you don't know, $1 used to be 1,500 lira, now it's 4,500, so it's triple.
yep.
Lots of the shops are tripling their prices. Same thing is happening with Pole. Pole is still a very affordable solution because now if you want to buy a bottle of juice, some are selling for even 90,000,
And you
where
know,
it used to be for
it
30
actually
or
Paul
25,000.
shouldn't be considered as a solution for whatever we're in right now, the mess that we're living in Lebanon. Paul actually does really good juice. You know, يعني the one he actually designed this for me. It's a juice called AK82. After I tested
See?
it,
No,
after
wait.
I tested a few
That's not
juices,
acceptable. This is not acceptable. First thing, I'm gonna talk to Paul. We are going to start with the G Spot juice because George is my friend and I support my friends. And second, you have to start with the J Coils, man. Don't say no. You don't have a choice
no problem. Fadi,
because it seems
I'll
you're
order some
supporting each
SS, man.
other. You're supporting each
Just,
other. He's making a juice under your name.
yeah.
Yeah, so you
So
support us too.
Fadi, I'll get some SS. نحكي بنرجع. Let me see. What's the flavor of the AK juice? Man, I
Yes.
think it's a mix of butterscotch, caramel, and custard. Because Anna, you know me, I'm into like that sweet stuff. So I think Paul didn't actually tell me what's in there, but the taste actually feels like butterscotch, caramel, maybe some custard. I still don't know what's in there, so it's my first bottle, and there's gonna be more for sure from it. So yeah, and the name, yeah, you were asking me where did the name come from?
Yes, AK. It's basically Adolf
Kordahi.
Kordahi,
Yeah, and
and
the
82 is the year
82,
you were born.
exactly.
Did I
Very
guess right?
simple. Yeah, you guessed right, man. I was just sitting there. I don't know. I just came up with it, and a lot of the guys, like the group that I chilled with in Dubai, you know, the vape group that I had, we had like we're still in contact. It's a very small vape group that we all talk together. We're around 15 guys. So they were all like, "Yeah, it's a very catchy name. Just keep it, you know, run with it." And I stayed with it. It's been like around 4 years now. Of course, I
Right.
did a little bit of tweaking on my labels. I've changed them up.
Okay, we have a question for you now.
Yeah,
How is it going now during Corona? What are the difficulties that you're facing during Corona?
shipping,
International or local? Or both?
international, local. There were a few problems in the beginning, but you know, once the delivery companies got their act together, خلاص, it's back on track. There's no issues. I've had a few delivery issues in the past week. I don't know why, locally. But international was a big headache for like in the beginning of Corona because everything was stopped, you know. And
Yes,
I
even
actually ran out of wire during that time. I didn't have any wire left because I did an order for a friend of mine who owns a shop in Dubai. And I ran out of wire. I had to order wire with luckily Kidney Puncher were shipping still internationally, but with FedEx.
which is
So
expensive.
I paid a nice amount for the shipping, but luckily, and now I know actually who are the the courier companies that tend not to rape you with Gameric. You
Mm.
know, FedEx is
The
actually
customs.
quite decent. DHL and Aramex and UPS will charge you 51,000 lira minimum, which are their fees. It has nothing to do with Gameric
With the package.
or with the
Nothing to do
pack.
with the customs.
Nothing. It's their handling fees, you know, because they had to go and pick up your shipment, which is part of their job anyway. So I don't understand why it's there. So FedEx so far seems to be the most decent shipping company here in Lebanon in terms of taxes and Gameric. So yeah, but you know, the shipping, international shipping is expensive right now. Also, due to Corona, they're actually charging more. There's like around $10 extra on your shipping charges due to the Corona issue.
Yeah, probably because of the use of the sanitizers.
I have no idea because of what. It's fuel
Or they
surge.
have to send it. I don't know. Fuel is supposed to be lower now.
Man, no one understands how things works anymore.
None of us, trust
That
me,
was
none of
my
us. With
biggest issue
shipping,
with
you cannot understand anything.
yeah,
This is
and
the mo-
the issue I'm still facing
the
right
difficulty
now.
you're having. Mm.
The issue I'm still facing right now is because I have some customers in some of the Gulf and in Europe close by who do not, there are no suppliers of my coils in their countries. So they actually order coils and I ship them to them through regular mail with Liban Post. And Liban
Yes,
Post operates through commercial flights.
yes,
And commercial flights are not working right now. So I cannot ship
exactly.
anything to them. I can ship it through DHL or FedEx, but then again,
It will
if your
cost
client
more.
is, yeah, it's like a minimum charge of $40 for shipping. So if he's ordering coils for 50 $60, he's not going to pay $40
He's not gonna
shipping.
pay 40 for shipping. Yes.
Exactly.
So this is basically the issue you're facing now with Corona. Locally, you don't have any problems.
Locally, there's no issues. A lot of the guys actually pop by, you know, they pick up their coils. Some of the guys live far away, in the outskirts, you know, they can't pop by. So I send them their deliveries with a courier company that I work with. But a lot
All
of the
right.
guys, you know, they come by, or if I'm in Beirut like before, you know, I pass by and drop off the coils. Uh, so locally, I don't have any issues with deliveries. It's just the international customer orders that are not working right now because they decided to close the airport again.
And this is the only thing you do. You don't have any other job.
Currently, no. You know what's going on, man. There's no way
Yes.
of finding a job now.
No, yeah. One good thing happened to me this week is that I work in a gym, so gyms are allowed to open this Monday. So I'm gonna
Ah,
go back
okay.
to work
So you're
finally.
back to work.
Yes, but still we don't know if a full salary or a half salary. Nothing is known. It depends on the sales that we're gonna have during this month.
What does the sales
Yeah.
have to do with it?
Well, if you don't sell memberships,
Ah,
You
you're
won't
in the
get
sales
income.
team?
I'm not in the sales. No, I'm managing the gym. But if you don't get income, you
Ah,
won't be able
okay.
to pay salaries. You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this whole bad situation. What I was talking about, and I told you we discussed the same issue with Paul, is that due to the high prices in the shops now, everybody or a lot of the vapors are quitting the vape because it's now expensive, and they are moving back to cigarettes, which is I'm not gonna say stupid. They are forced to be in this option. You know,
Yeah,
it's not that I don't wanna buy vape products anymore. I'll go to a normal cigarette box, but no. Even the cigarettes are more expensive now. But
exactly.
still, yeah, we
But
need to know from you. What about pricing from your side? I mean, how
uh,
much does it cost a set of good
to
coils,
be
and
honest,
how long does it last?
I was thinking of putting up my prices a bit, but it's not a big impact. Yani for me, because the spools are large and all of that, so my coil prices might increase around 2,000 lira, but that's it per set basically. Otherwise, I'm able to maintain a decent price for now. Hopefully, things don't spiral out of control more with the economy. Uh,
Hopefully.
fake liquids, man, are a big problem. And some of them are actually buying the fake liquids thinking they're originals. So that's even
Yes,
worse.
and we talked with John Moriarty last episode. We talked about
Hmm.
fake juice also, and I found someone selling fake juice. You won't believe the price for 12,000 lira.
I think I've seen the post on one of the groups.
Yes, it was on a group.
Yeah.
12,000 lira. He had all kind of juice, and when I asked him, "Is it fake?" He said, "No, it's a copy triple A." I mean, what can you reply to something? Someone's telling you this. It's a copy triple A. It's not fake. It's a copy
Babe
triple A.
Awal.
Beb awal, like we say in Lebanese. Beb awal. It's like in the clothes, you're buying Nike, but it's not the main one. It's not the original Nike. It's triple A. It's
بيب
not
اول
2A.
يعني مثل ما بيقولوا عنه.
Yes.
اصل
The
بيب
same,
اول.
the same term, the same term using for clothes. Beb awal. I mean, I didn't even reply
And
to
I
him.
think, man,
I'm not encouraging fake juice at all.
with regards to the guys that are switching back to cigarettes, there are options that they could go for and
Like,
still vape, and they can still vape original or good DIY juice, and all they have to do is switch their vaping style. They can go into MTL vaping and get a 16 or a 18 mg freebase liquid, and
but
just
the
vape
issue is
on
the
that.
price and the availability. You will not find a lot of 12 or 18 milligram free base nicotine in Beirut. It's hard to find it.
Uh,
Still, the
في
price
one
is very
shop,
high.
I know, yeah. But the like one of the guys on our Lebanese groups, Muhammad, he vapes on 18 mg, and a 60 ml lasts him around 3 weeks.
Yes.
So
High
it's
nicotine, you won't be vaping on it all day. You'll take like 5 puffs and that's it.
exactly, you get your nicotine fix and you're done. So in
Yes.
the end, if they really did want to stay away from smoking, there is a way to do it. Yani. Okay, it's not cheap. It's not like before, but in the end, it's still healthier than safer, not healthier. Let's go with
Yes.
the safer term.
Safer.
Safer than
Yeah, that
smoking
was John
cigarettes.
was saying. Don't say healthier, say safer.
Safer. It's a safer alternative than smoking cigarettes. And
And that's why
it
we
might
did the
actually
show with
make me
Paul.
start vaping.
That's why we
And
did the show with Paul, just to give the guys a better option, which is instead of buying like dinner lady or whatever for like 60,000, you can buy or 90. Some I can't believe that some are selling the juice for 90,000. This is really stupid. but you can go to Paul and
Yeah, I mean,
give him,
it's
tell him
insane.
whatever flavor you prefer for 40,000. This is really affordable.
It's a very good deal. Yeah, that's a good idea, Shafi. Lowering
Yes.
vape costs for a show.
To me, I'll go MTL with Nixel.
For
If I wanna,
example, you can go
yeah, if
MTL
I
with
wanna lower
Nixel.
it.
You
Yeah.
can even go MTL with high MG
Or
freebase, man,
yes, true. High MG freebase.
which I actually prefer that on Nixel. I love a
Well,
12 milligram nicotine hit, than Nixel. So there are
I was
ways.
going with the same idea, but what happened to me is I said I want to stop nicotine, salt nic or Nixel, because everyone is, I don't know why, moving away from Nixel and
Yeah.
going towards freebase but high nicotine. So I went and I brought the Dinner Lady 6 milligram. It was harsh. I don't know how people really accept a 12 mg or an 18 mg. Six
Hey,
and it
but
killed me.
بس انت what were you using it on? What was the coil? How many ohms? What's the wattage? No,
Uh,
this all plays a factor. يعني أنا when I use a 12 mg, I usually go for a zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.8 coil, and my wattage is around 16, 17.
let me tell you which coil. I was using it on this baby boy. You know this?
Yeah.
It's a pure MTL.
والله.
Mm. And the coils that come with it, oh my God, what is it? Okay, I lost it somewhere. And guess what? I'm rebuilding it.
It has a rebuildable deck.
Voila. No. It doesn't come with a rebuildable deck. It's a pre-made coil, like Sabon coil. But I cracked it open and I rebuilt it totally. It's a 0.7 ohm. Yeah, it's a
0.7
0.7
ohm.
ohm. Yes.
That should be fine for 12 mg, man.
6 mg and it wasn't acceptable. You tell me 12 mg, 6 mg, I couldn't handle it. I hated it. I couldn't wait till the bottle and just ordered another one 3 mg and I'm happy with 3 mg.
yeah.
But the issue is that I'm vaping all day, non-stop.
I used to hit 6 mg on RDAs, man.
What?
But then I decided to cut down.
That's too much. No.
I used to smoke, man, around 2 packs a day.
I used to do the same. Marlboro.
Lucky strike.
Oh, which is worse.
Yeah, so when I switched to vaping, it was quite hard in the beginning because you have the habit of the cigarette and all of that. But right now, I can't smell cigarettes anymore. So
yeah, me too. This is what helped me really quit.
See, like Julian هلا, he's talking about Dinner Lady, and Bilal also mentioned it. Dinner Lady, man, I don't know, it's the nicotine that they use. It's very harsh on the throat, man.
The one I'm using is 3 milligram. I'm using it in this pipe. I have no problem with it. 6 milligram, I couldn't handle it. But 3 milligram is acceptable.
Try it on an RDA or an RTA.
No, I didn't. I used to vape on 0 milligram on RDAs.
Try the 3 mg on an RDA or an RTA, like a direct lung hit. You'll know what everyone's talking about. It's very harsh.
It's hard. And one more thing, the flavor is lower.
أكيد يعني طبيعي, man. The flavor won't be constant.
When I use the 0 milligram on an RDA, the flavor is amazing. Even on RTA, the flavor is amazing. 0 milligram. Once you add nicotine, you have less flavor.
The nicotine it kills off a bit of the flavor, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and the juice became darker.
Yeah, normal oxidation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right. What do you want to tell us more? We need
well,
to know more about your prices. How much does it cost? Like, if I want to buy, because people are asking really. Because when I posted in the group, some said that they didn't talk about you, but in general, they said that coils are expensive because they can buy
انت
through
يعني my
AliExpress a box
prices
like for $10 or $5 that has like 20 coils.
he pays $10 for a spool that has 20 coils, but what's the flavor delivery he's getting from them?
Exactly.
What's the
And this is what,
longevity
and
of
one more thing, it doesn't last for a long time because I swear I still use, because I'm not using them every day. I have them here somewhere. Hold on. This is like the best RDTA I used so far, which is the Torin RDTA.
uh,
And let me show you the coils inside. Your coils.
which ones are these?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I have to go back to the review to see it. But you send
Okay.
me these, and I still use them, and they're great, especially
Hey
with the
man,
flavor.
this I'll tell you why this happens with all handmade coils, most of the handmade coils. If the
They
builder is
last longer.
using, so if the builder is using a decent brand, let's say anything from Lightning Vapes to Coil Society to Kidney Puncher Wire to Crazy Wire UK to Juice Junkie Wire in the UK, there's hundreds of brands of wire. Most of these wire companies, the top brands, they source their wire from a company called Sandvik. They buy it in bulk from them and they respool it. Sandvik produces it's all about the purity of the metal that the wire is made of. That's why whenever you get a Chinese coil from any of the Chinese companies, not to name
It
anyone,
will last for a maximum 2 weeks.
that's more at most, and your flavor starts dying out after 1 week, maybe.
Yes, true. I tried
When
them.
you go and you buy a coil from any coil builder, whoever it is, the coil will last you at least 1 month.
At least
That's
one
a
month.
minimum. Shafi just mentioned he's used my coils for 2 months. I know guys who have
Exactly.
been using my coils for 4 months plus. So
Yes.
my coil price ranges from $8 up to $15 per set. Everything sold by
Percent.
set. If you
Yeah.
consider that, and you consider that the lifespan is, I would say, a minimum 1 month lifespan of the coil. Because in the end, it depends on the guy who's using them. How many times does he clean his coil? How does he clean his coil? Uh, how hard does he vape? Does he vape on very high wattages on the coil? Because in the end, the
Yeah.
coil is a piece of metal. راح يتغير يا شافي مش على 1005.
He's talking about the dollar rate.
راح زيدهم 2000 ليره مان ما راح فوت بقص 3000 وما بعرف شو. ف so the metal in the end it will start breaking down. And if the metal is not cooked properly, it's not smelted properly, and it has impurities in it, the metal will break down faster. That's why
Yes.
when you use a Chinese coil, you notice a difference in the performance after 1 week. Because the metal will start having microscopic breaks in it, which affects the heating, you know? So, and almost every builder, are we still there? Yeah. So almost every
Yeah.
builder in the world uses a good brand to make his wires. In the end, what you're paying for is not the cost of the spool that I buy from Kidney Puncher, for example. You're
Mm.
you're paying for the craftsmanship, the time
Yes.
that I spent to make the
The
coils,
trust. The
the
trust. You're
time
paying
that
for the trust.
yeah,
You
and
know
the
what
time
you're
that
buying.
I've used to learn how to do this in the end.
Exactly. And you know you're buying something that will last for a longer time and that it's clean.
Exactly. يعني أنا, for example, I clean all my coils in an ultrasonic cleaner before they get packed, which is
I
basically
have a
it's
question for you. You
yeah,
said before that they should know how to clean their coils. How to clean the coils? I mean, let me tell you what I do. After like 1 week of use, I check the cotton. If it's black, I change it. Then I heat it and I put it under water. Then I scrap it with this, something like this.
a metal brush basically.
Exactly, like a metal brush.
Yeah. Okay. So basically,
That's how to do it.
when you glow your coils, the best way to do
Yeah.
it is basically have a small container of water next to you. You glow your coils until they burn off all the gunk, but don't dip the coils into the water while they're still red hot. Wait for the
Ah,
coils until the glow is gone, then dip them in the water.
no, I put
Two
them
to three
with the
dips,
glow,
yeah, 2 to 3 dips is usually enough. Then you just hit it with the
and
metal
then you
brush and you wake up
and then
again.
it's
You know, taking care of your coils is very easy. I actually change my cotton every 2 to 3 days.
yeah.
You know, sometimes I change the whole fucking coil, but every 2 to 3
Man,
days.
how much are you buying your coils and from who? You're getting
My-
free coils every day.
for me, and believe it or not, I still have a lot of rejected coils that are not for sale. You know, and I keep those coils for personal use. You know, like these. These are all
Why are
rejects.
they rejected?
There's something wrong with the wrap. There's something wrong with the fuse. Or when I'm cutting the sticks, there's usually like a smaller sized stick that's left behind. Then the legs aren't long enough to be put, for sale. There's some coils that don't pass it, so I put them on the side and I use them. So a lot of the
So you
times I
have
just,
quality control.
huh?
You have quality control.
Yeah, I do it by myself, because I have to
See,
pack everything.
this is why I'm advising everyone who's watching us to go and buy from not just from you, from a DIY coil builder. You know,
Exactly,
you have a trust. You know what you're buying. You know the coils are clean. You know that it will last for a longer time. You
mm,
might be, and most, يعني, I mean, it's 100% sure that you'll be paying more, but you're getting a better quality.
exactly. And another thing about
Yeah.
those Chinese wires that come in the boxes, like 100 pieces for $10, and I don't know what. Most of those wires are uh, are Cantal. Not that there's anything wrong with Cantal. It's just the way they put the wires together. It becomes the wire. If you know, if you've used them, definitely. They take such a
Me?
long time. Yeah, you've used those wires, right? انه demon coil وما بعرف شو هدول. No, I didn't mean as in Cantal plain wire. I mean as
No,
in,
no,
you know
now I'm using for the MTL. This is what I'm using because I don't have your codes yet. That's what I end up using. You're
there's
laughing.
nothing wrong with Cantal. Cantal, there are some people who have an allergy to nichrome, by the way. They can't
Exactly.
vape on
Like check, check how much is giving me ohms. A 1.08, 5 wraps.
yeah, it's Cantal. It comes out
1.0.
really high.
Yeah.
So imagine, for example, those coils that come from China. Okay,
Mm.
the ones on the wheel. You know that wheel
Yes.
with like 20 different types of coils, and I don't know what. And they have all
Yeah.
these weird names for coils, and I don't know. put a pair in an RDA and try hitting it at 60 or 70 watts. The coil will not blow. Your machine will overheat before the coil glows. It's because they use really thick, they use very thick gauges, and they're
sometimes they break.
And they're all Canthal, and they're thick gauges. So your mod needs to really push a lot of power into the coil to get it to glow. You know?
So it's not good at the end of the day. It's not good.
I think like 80% of vapors are using nichrome now because of the flavor production you get from the metal and the longevity. Canthal lasts
They're using
the
what?
longest.
Nichrome?
Nichrome.
They're using
as
nichrome.
Nichrome is NI8. No, nichrome is like a term that everyone says.
Like the NI80.
See, Julian's saying it takes 10 minutes to glow. Demon killer wire, for example.
Yes.
You know, the wires are so thick and heavy that your mod really needs to push. You'd need to go up to like 100 watts to get the coil to glow in like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So
Julian, the guy with abs. Nice profile picture. I don't know if that's him. What coils are you using now?
3-core aliens.
That's your preferred. Yeah, you told us that before.
Yeah, these are the 0.15 ones. I kind of like them now. I used to use 0.1s, but those are like V8s in terms of juice consumption, so I stopped using them.
No more abs, Julian is saying. All right, bro. That was great. I love the show. I hope you enjoyed it. To everyone who's watching, if you want to buy some really good coils that last for a longer time, you should go ahead and check AK82 at Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram, and I also have a Facebook page, but I'm not
They
that
both
active.
are AK82.
Yeah, both AK82.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
guys.
I think we're gonna have you for another show because we want you to show us the process. How are you going to do coils?
Sure, no problem.
Maybe we'll talk more in detail.
Definitely.
All right. So, thanks a lot, Adolf.
Thank you.
I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you soon, inshallah.
أكيد, man. Yalla.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Hope all you enjoyed the show, and see you soon.
Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.